day 7 today, and you can see our wall sheeting is complete. So let's talk through a few interesting nuances of it. Now, first of all, nice little builder's trick here. You can see they've marked out where all the plumbing is. Last thing you want to do is go ahead and punch a screw or something through there, just forgetting where things were laid out. So there's the toilet cistern there. So that's all looking good. If we look up a little bit, you can see that our box out up here has been finished now. Our plastering angle here is nice and complete. You can see we've got a bit of gaps around the top edge here. This is all going to be for getting plastered up very shortly, I'm sure. Then back to around our window frame here. Yesterday there was a lot of this missing, so that's all been completed quite nicely there now. That infill piece was missing yesterday, so that's in place. Now we can see we've got some more marks on the wall here for where our plumbing runs through there, our plumbing lines. We've got our niche here. So this is one of the points we raised yesterday, had a chat with our builder. The way that sheet was set in the bottom there was angling backwards a little bit, which would have resulted water from our shower up here actually potentially getting trapped down inside the tiles there where our waterproofing is going to be. Just not an ideal thing, might result in some accelerated deterioration. So we asked them to angle that sheet. So there's a bit of a fall there. They've done that now. Looks great. Thank you for that. Now, if we have a little bit more of a talk about our wall sheeting here, I want to have a look right down the bottom, and it might be a little bit hard to see, but it's an important thing that we have this gap all the way along the bottom there, right? And the reason for that is that if we do have any movement, a bit better of view over this side, if we do have any movement here in those wall frames, then we want the sheets not to be clashing, the wall sheets and the floor sheets. We don't want them clashing together, potentially cracking or splitting joints above. So that's a really important little aspect that relates to your long-term waterproofing performance. Now, another item is our underfloor heating here. So we'd marked previously that it might be a little bit too low there and run the cables into the screed, because we actually have underfloor heating that goes over the top of the screed bed into our tile glue layer. And I had a chat to our builder today, and he raised a really good point, is that if we actually raise it up to that level, those conduits there, they actually have to come through that wall for electrical safety and compliance. So if we raise them up, they would actually be sticking above the tile level, which would be a real problem. So we agree they've got to stay at that level, but we don't want them to have the electrical cables just coming out into the screed, because then they have to punch up through the waterproofing, and our primary waterproofing in this design is going to be over the top of the screed. So we had a bit of a chat. We came up with an interesting way of detailing this. I'm not going to explain it now. We will show you when the waterproofing goes in here. But yeah, it's an interesting one. So that's all for that there. Over this side here to wrap up, you can see we're all sheeted up on our cavity slider there. That's looking good. We've got our exhaust fan unit down here. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the future, why this one was selected and some important considerations around that. And that's pretty much everything for today. See you tomorrow.